In an earlier episode, I addressed the issue of words not having a literal meaning in the way most people use the word. And what I want to do now is to expand out and look at a few other kinds of constructions which shows the problems in thinking this way. In Hebrews 1:3, word for word, the writer says, upholds, and we'll just skip the tab, upholds all things by the word of his power. Now, there's two things that I can point out here to again show you why the word literal must be banned from all discussions of translations. The first one is the translation by the word. To haremati, well, it's in the dative case. We don't have the dative case. Okay, we have 3 cases. Greek has 4. We don't have a dative case. And so in order to communicate the dative case, we had to change it into a prepositional phrase. See, there's no way to go word for word because we don't have a dative case. Often this will happen with genitive cases as well. It'll say like, of God. Well, it's theou in the Greek. It's a genitive case, and we don't have a genitive case. We have a possessive case. But the only way to translate theou into English is to turn it into a prepositional phrase and say, of God. Okay, so you got problems at all levels with this idea of literalness. But go back to this verse. What does it mean? That Jesus upholds all things by the word of his power. Well, what does that mean? Well, to me, it doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means. Now, if it had said, upholds all things by the power of his word, well, okay, that would make sense. But by the word of his power, that just going word for word, I don't think that means anything. So what are you going to do? Well, if you're committed to doing things literally, you have to translate gibberish. And some translations do that. Well, when you look at it, if you know much about Greek, and certainly these translators know this, who translated it this way. But there's a thing called an Hebraic genitive, and it's the way you can take a noun and turn it into an adjective. And so when the text says, by the word of his power, what it means is by his powerful word. In other words, dunameos, the word for power, that's a noun, but because it's what's called an Hebraic genitive, it's functioning adjectively, and so you have uphold all things by his powerful word, which is what the NIV and other translations do as well. See the problem? If you think a literal translation is one that goes word for word, then you get gibberish and you get things that just aren't accurate. That's just not the way you move from one language to another. Languages aren't codes. Okay, we can't simply take this word and move this word into English and this Greek word and word. I mean, no one does that. No one does that. Not even NASB and ESV, very formal equivalent translations. They're doing this kind of thing, turning dative phrases into prepositional phrases or genitive phrases into prepositional phrases. They're doing these kinds of things almost, if not every single verse in the Bible. So you have to be really careful at thinking, oh, I can replicate a word from one language into another and convey its meaning. No, you can't. That's linguistic nonsense. That's not the way languages work.